Hey, it is a pretty day today, and I thought I would get some canvases. These are the wood panels. So you can see I'm working on a 12 by 12. These are acrylic paint panels, cradled with a basswood frame and a Baltic birch face. Finely sanded and ready for your primer or to use as a craft panel. So, let's take this off so you can see. If I have to do one, I'm going to do more than one so that I don't have to get all this stuff out just for one. So what I have done, I have rubbed the side with an oil stain and put a little wax on it. This is dry now. I wanted to have it all ready to show you. Now, I like always to go with the grain. So I'm going to sand lightly. I'm using a fine sandpaper. Not super fine, but fine. And I'm coming out the edge. If I try to come back this way, it's going to kind of sew off that end, that edge, and I don't want to do that. So I'm coming from the inside outside, but basically with the grain. That way. I was a little messy with my stain right there. Now sometimes I have bought these and don't realize until I get home that there'll be a little nick, and in that case I use a little wood putty to take care of that, because it doesn't matter that it's a different surface, a different substance in there. What matters is that it's smooth. So let's see, I like that pretty well right now. That's good. I'm going to turn this over and I'm going to sand the inside. Years ago, there was a wonderful technical man at Windsor Newton. His name was Wendell Upchurch. And I called Mr. Upchurch one day and told him I was working on wood panels. And what should I do? And he said, be sure you attend to the underside just like you are to the front side. So I have followed his advice. And so when I'm sanding that just a little bit, because that's not so important. This feels good. I have a little bit of water here. And my trusty paper towels. And I'm going to start by putting one coat. I've sanded both edges. I've done my stain. And I'm not going to put the medium or the gesso on the sides. I want those to be just like they are, kind of natural. I could put this in here. Sometimes I just pour it right on the canvas. You saw what I was about to do. So this is my first coat. I like to put matte medium, acrylic matte medium, and I pull it from the inside out again so that I don't get it on that side. Da-da. More. I'm checking to make sure that it's getting in all those little grain areas. Don't want to miss anything. That's good. Now, it is a really warm day here at the moment, which is why I'm doing this with you today. So this is going to be dry really, really quickly. So I'm doing this on the back side, just like Mr. Upchurch suggested. And when you're doing a project and you look at videos and you get a lot of ideas. I always suggest that you read about it and go to your experts, because everybody has different ideas. There are always more ways than one to do a project, so you might find some area of this that you want to do differently. So you have to do a little bit of your own homework, but this is the way I do it, and I've been happy with the results. Now I can feel that this back side is dry, so I'm going to lay this down. And come along here. I've gotten it just a little bit over, so I'm wiping that off. Got a little messy. Being more careful on this side. Wipe my mess off the table here. That looks good. Great. Let's see if this is dry or oh, it almost is. I think that I'm going to move this one aside just for a moment and go ahead and sand this one. And I'll bet by the time that I sand this, we can go ahead and put the first coat of gesso on our first one. And that helps get that dust off. And now we'll do the back. Feels good. Now I'm pleased with that. I'm going to just dampen this just slightly, and that helps get the little dust particles out of those grooves, because we don't need that. And let's see if our first one is ready. Oh, that feels great. Now, the matte medium brings up little parts of the wood. So each time you put on a coat of gesso, I would suggest that you use your fine sandpaper and come back over it just lightly. And I'm going with the grain. Feels good. Now I'm going to do the underside. It's not so critical, but won't hurt either. So with all the work that I plan to put into the top side of this painting, I certainly want my client to see a nice surface underneath as well. So just barely damp. Get this dust off. sun's back out again. Now, I'm going to use clear gesso. I don't want to use the white. Oops. Please open up. Well, phooey. Bet this has never happened to you. Okay, there we go. Use that little bit right there. So I'm going to put my clear gesso all over the top. You could use the white gesso, but I know me, and if I were using the white gesso and it came over on the side, then I would be very unhappy that it covered up any of the stain. So I know myself, and I have chosen to use the clear so that I don't have that problem. If I can avoid a problem, that's what I want to do. This great sunshine is going to have this dry in no time. If you and I weren't talking, I would do this in the shade. Now I'm going to come underneath, and I'm going to put my coat of gesso. Get that little nub out. And I find that is an easy way to pick up fibers. I turn my brush this way, and that just works great to lift those out of, sometimes it's my paint surface. Now, this looks good to me. So I'm going to let this dry. Actually, this side is almost dry now. So the process from here is I have now one coat of clear gesso. When this dries, I'm going to sand it. I'm going to apply another coat of gesso. I'll let that dry, sand it again, and I like to put 3 coats. I feel really secure about if I'm using oil paint, about the oil not seeping into the wood surface. If I put 3 coats of gesso on, I am a happy girl. So I'm not going to do these other parts because it looks just like what we just did. And so you have a process now that I hope will help you have a good surface to prepare your wood panel to do lots of great things. You can put your acrylic paint on it, because of course the acrylic paint is acrylic, as is the gesso, or your oil. So you are set for either. So I hope this helps you, and happy painting.